Hello. This is a new project that I'm starting today. It is a 8 horsepower chipper shredder. But what's interesting is the engine says 8 horsepower, but that says 5. So I'm going to think maybe an aftermarket engine was put on here. Came from a buddy of mine. His dad had passed away and they were cleaning out his shed and they found this. His health hasn't been good for a number of years and they think it's been at least 10 years since it was used. So we're gonna take a look at it, see if we can't get it running again. I did give it a quick pull here and the engine does not seize, so that's a win. But there is some stuff inside of there, so looks like maybe a squirrel built a nest in it. One of the first things I'm going to do is pull the spark plug out, make sure that that's clean. I am going to put a little bit of oil in it just to give it some extra lubricant, just in case there's some rust in there. Of course, take the air filter out. The gas was actually emptied, it appears. So there's no gas in there, so that's actually good. I've got fresh gas, new fuel filter. We'll pull the carb off just to make sure that that's clean. Oil. Actually right on, so we're still going to change that once we get it running. But first we should probably give it a quick bath so that's easier to work on. Who doesn't like working on clean things? So what I'm going to do before I degrease it and wash it is pull the plug, take a quick look at the plug, and then drop a little bit of WD-40 in there just to kind of loosen things up. I was going to use oil, but it's moving so freely, I don't think that'll be necessary. So that plug doesn't look bad at all. A little dirty, but that's all right. That moves really nice now. Close it up. And let's spray her down. Figure before we start getting too involved, let's get the squirrel's nest out of here. Even that looks pretty good. Didn't make it past the guard here. Gonna hit it with the foamy gunk engine cleaner now. All right, we'll let that sit for about 10 or 15 minutes. That sounds good. We'll come back. I'll give it 15 minutes to sit. Still looks kind of dirty, but good enough. At least knock some of the chunks off. Wheels came out good. Now that we got a little bit cleaned up, still got a nut in there. I'm going to pull the plug just to see if it has spark. It has an on-off switch. Feels good, but I guess we'll find out if it actually works. And if it spark, we'll take it from there. So let's see. Definitely have a very good spark. So that's a win. I'm going to get this plug cleaned up a little bit. Drop it back in. This is probably not a good idea, but I'm not going to keep this plug anyway. Going to get a new one here soon. Well, let's see how the air cleaner looks. Nice big one. Looks decently clean. Well, I think this has seen better days. Wow. All right, that's just disintegrating. Looks like the bolt to hold this up is supposed to be held on by a screw here that's missing, so I will have to address that. Doesn't appear to be too critical though. Before we get any farther, let's give it a couple shots of carbon choke cleaner, see if it does anything. Not too shabby for the first start. I do think we have to put something in here though, because as you saw, the carb cleaner came out of that hole. So I imagine it's probably taking air in, which would then lead to a leaner situation since it's bypassing the air cleaner. Also would be sucking in dirty air, so we'll address that sooner than later. I'm going to come back a little later and tighten these up, but for now it's on the second smaller size of the universal inline filter, so let's put some gas in it and see how it does. Like the fuel filter has filled nicely, and there are no leaks except there. A little bit of a leak. I'm going to address that now. Alright, I've got the spring clamp adjusted better so it isn't leaking anymore. Got the choke on. Air filter is off, obviously. Plugs on. We're in the on position. We have oil. We have fuel. So I'm going to give it a few pulls and let's see if we can get it started and stay running. So it looks like that screw, there's a lot blowing out of this. I wonder if that is the drain plug for the carburetor. So I need to find something to put in there because yeah, there's There's gasoline coming out of this, which also leads me to believe that if hardly anything's coming out, the float might be stuck. Alright, so believe it or not, I actually found a bolt that works. Correct threads, it's actually stainless. And I figure it's kind of important, so I've got a locking washer on it. So I'm going to throw this up in here. There is a gasket right here, believe it or not. Look it over. Once we get this in, that should prevent a lot of the fuel from coming out when we pull the pull start. So let's give it a shot now. So I've got the choke on. I don't know, should we go half? Off? How about we take it off? Why not? Let's coax it with a little bit more carb cleaner. Well, that went much easier than I expected. Unfortunately, I guess for the video's sake, but now that we have it nice and warm, let's get the oil drained. Got some 10W30 we're going to put in it. And we'll start it up again. Let it circulate that fresh oil and we'll see how it runs. Oh boy, we're filling up quick. And we're still coming out. Well, it doesn't feel bad at all. A little bit dirty, but really feels good. I gotta find out what this container is so I can put the correct oil back in. I got 2 quarts, so that should be plenty for this application. It's just starting to weep out now, so I think we're good to put the plug back in. All right, let's get it cleaned up and put some fresh oil in. Looking good.
Now, my computer was given to me.
This 8-horse motor is pretty robust.
Okay, here, take it. That didn't get too good. Yeah, it fits perfectly right there.
So the filter appears to be original. It's pretty old. It's got the Briggs logo on it, so it's definitely OEM, but I cannot read any numbers on here. So to put it back on, I'm just going to use the vacuum cleaner. Speed it up